New driver on the bubble as our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. And now get over 130 of your favorite channels in high definition. Mark Martin leads Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, David Rudiman and Brian Vickers, but the big battle is for the bubble spot. A.J. Allmendinger just moved in front of Travis Kvapil. They are right now in the qualified spots. Never mind, Jeremy Mayfield edges ahead of Kvapil. And there is the battle to see who makes the Daytona 500. Mayfield 41 underneath Allmendinger. Kvapil in the 28, Regan Smith the 78.
Tell you what, there's 2 or 3 of those cars in there that are evil. They are all over the place, but they're not lifting.
There's Mike Wallace. Now he has dropped back behind Regan Smith. Yeah, 19th overall and 5th in the go or go home group.
He's lost the draft. He's a lonely man right now. He's going to have some kind of little caution here to get him caught up.
Norm Benning has gone a lap down. Scott Speed 2 laps down. And in the garage, Mike Garvey, Jeffrey Bodine, and Boris Said.
Jeremy Mayfield in the 41 car goes to the bottom behind Montoya. But there you see Allmendinger just in front of Kvapil in the 28 and Regan Smith in that 78. This is a battle for the position in the Daytona 500, and as Mike and Darrell's pointed out, pays $250,000 to start that race on Sunday.
And you think about Jeremy Mayfield. I mean, he set out most of last year, and he hadn't even been in a race car. Puts his team together, and here he is again, another one of those independent guys that shows up down here with just enough equipment and money to try to get into this race. Could be a big day for him.
Has Tony Furr over there wrenching on the car. Tony, a longtime crew chief at Hendrick Motorsports, won some races there with Jerry Nadeau and other drivers.
Kvapil coming back on the inside. Now he and Smith in the 78 have to mind their P's and Q's because they're in the race on speed. If they can be the 2 transfer spots, they'll advance their position in the starting lineup, but they are locked in.
And you know the thing about A.J. Allmendinger in the 44 car, it was not that many days ago that A.J. and that 44 team, they thought they were locked in the top 35. And then through a partnership and a merger that Richard Childress did with the 33 car with Bobby Ginn, they became part of the top 35. The 44 car, which is basically the 10 car from last year, out of the top 35.
There's 2 teammates working together. Kevin Harvick in the 29. Jeff Burton in the 31. They're bumping themselves right back toward the front.
Yeah, they're in 10th and 11th place, but their lap times are about 3/4 of a second behind what the leaders are running right now.
I think we may check it this time by, Mike, because they are catching up with Bobby Labonte here in the 96 car. That's going to pull that whole group back up there, I believe.
You're right, Darrell. Right now they're running right on pace with the leaders.
Yeah, they're only about 2 seconds behind leader Mark Martin.
Right, they fell back a little bit, but I think they're starting to feel the effects of the draft. They'll be right back in this thing here in another lap or 2.
Nick Berggren.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just came on the radio and told his crew that the car feels good, Mike, but he just can't get any help. He's riding in the 6th position. Kyle Busch is running in the 2nd spot, kind of the same thing. He's got a good car except through the bumps, but can't seem to make the pass. That'll all change as we get closer to the end. There'll be a lot of passing down.
Oh, you got that right, Doc. The clock is ticking.
Riding with Carl Edwards here in the 99 car. Right now, he's the top running Ford in the 8th position with Bobby Labonte in the 96 right behind him.
And back in the battle for the transfer spots. Things have calmed down for a while. That group is also single file, trying to run down the leaders.
This is when you got to run kind of single file because the handling of the car has gone away quite a bit from the tires giving up, and so you need the whole racetrack to be able to get around the racetrack, let alone race with somebody.
And we have 23 laps to go. We've only had the 1 caution on lap 14. All cars were on pit road at lap 16 with 44 laps to go. We know by virtue of the fuel window that that's just right there at being able to make it to the end.
Things bunching up near the front. Brian Vickers, 83.
Yeah, Junior just got by him on the outside, and he's bringing Tony Stewart or Ryan Newman right with him. Vickers is going to fall in back of these guys as they go by.
39's one back now, middle of the track. 39's clear.
This is when you're handling, if your car's really handling good, this is when it's really going to start to show up, and you're able to maybe slip by some of these guys that are having to lift up a little bit.
Now in the second pack, some drivers can run the bottom, some others have to run the top of the racetrack, and that may spread that group out a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, when the handling goes off, Mike, you just got to run the bottom and let it wash its way all the way to the top. You need the whole racetrack just to get around here.
Now Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 88 car, went to the high side. He's going to pull Ryan Newman in that 39 car with him. What an eventful day for Ryan Newman. Had to go to the rear of the field because of an engine change. He had a tire problem on lap 13.
Helps all with you.
While he was on pit road, the caution came out, so he ended up in the top 10. Now he's working on getting to the top 5.
Now you see what happened there as the 88 and the 39 started working the high side. 18 Busch and his teammate Denny Hamlin, they saw him coming and they started to move up, but then the outside line lost a little momentum, so they see that might work here in a lap or two. Junior's working that high side really, really well right now.
When they come to the line, 20 laps to go.
See, Junior's got to, here comes Junior. He's got to run. He needs Ryan to get back into 39, Ryan Newman, to get back up there with him. I believe they could push each other to the front if they could get hooked up real tight.
Jeremy Mayfield, 41, has moved into the second transfer spot. Now Allmendinger, the 44, had some help from his new teammates, Reed Sorensen, 43, and Elliott Sadler, the 19. But here is Mayfield trying to play the spoiler and race his way into the 500.
Now, Mike, if they stayed in that running order right there, all 4 of those cars would be in the Daytona 500, I think. You would have Allmendinger and Mayfield transfer by being the top 2 finishers of the Go-Homers, and we know that Travis Kvapil and Regan Smith is in on speed. If they stay this way, which is unlikely.
Yeah.
Mark Martin, your leader. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Dale Jr., Ryan Newman.